Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and today we're going over I guess, nerf or rework of rocket planes, and I'm leaning more toward nerf because after reading through this a couple of times, it does sound like this will be a nerf for most players, especially the average Joe CV player. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on into it. The link to the devlog will be in the description down below. I'll put up any relevant artwork or pictures, which there are none for this devlog. But anyway, in the background you'll be seeing some very mediocre Richtofen gameplay footage. I'm not a good CV player, but I figured it should be appropriate to have a CV game in the background, so you don't have to remind me I suck at CVs, I already know that. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on into it. Alright, so ST changes to attack aircraft. In the near future, a closed test of concept of the following change to attack aircraft will be conducted. The length of attack animation is increased by 2.5 to 3 times. Rockets are launched with a delay after the left mouse button is pressed. The speed at which Crosshair is reducing is... oh god, what the heck? The speed at which Crosshair is reducing is increased, and the penalty to reduction for maneuvering is lowered. That first half of that sentence is beautiful. Again, the Russian-English translation is always on point. Markers showing the exact spot with each rocket will hit are added. These markers, again, I'm reading this straight from the devblog. I'm not an English teacher, but like even this is kind of rough. These markers are shown not only for the aircraft carrier player, but also to the ships which are being attacked. The change to the shape of attack aircraft Crosshair in update 0.9.7 gave destroyers a possibility to stick to a common tactic to avoid rocket attacks. During the test, ships, especially destroyers, will have more time to react, and it will be easier for them to lower or completely evade damage from rockets with the correct maneuver. And changes to the Crosshair will make starting an attack run easier for aircraft carriers. Please note that if the results are positive at the end of the test, detailed information about the future usage of this concept will follow. All information in the development blog is preliminary and subject to change during testing. Any showcase features may or may not end up on the main server. The final information will be published on our game's website. Okay, so a couple of really big changes to rockets here. Well, especially the way in which you use them. So first off, the animation is being increased by anywhere from 2.5 to 3 times. I don't know if that means by carrier or that they're just saying they're going to be messing around somewhere from 2.5 to 3 times. Now, the animation already isn't really that long on most CVs, except for like FDR because it's got like a bagillion rockets. So increasing that attack animation, I'm not sure what... so it says they're going to increase the attack animation, and they're also delaying the launch of rockets after the mouse button is pressed. So I'm not sure if they mean like this length of animation is the delay, or that you're getting this length of animation delay and they're also going to delay after the after you click your mouse button. So if that's the case, if they're increasing the animation and there's a delay after the left mouse button is pressed, then yeah, DDs will have, they don't say how long the delay is, but good God, anywhere from like 4 or 5 seconds probably. I'm just guesstimating here to maneuver, which for a DD that's plenty enough time to get out of the way in most cases. So if you guys remember back to like when the CV rework first came out, there was a little bit of delay from clicking the button on your mouse to the rockets launching. It wasn't really that much, but it was pretty noticeable, because right now when you do it, it's just instant. So it sounds like maybe they're going back to that 1 or 2 second delay. I don't even think it was like a full second. It was pretty quick. So it sounds like they're going back to that and also lengthening the attack animation. I think this dev blog isn't really worded all that well, so I feel like that's a good change. The issue is, of course, the average CV player. This is going to be a little bit harder for them to cope with this, but the very high skilled CV player probably won't be too bothered by this. So that's why I would say this is a nerf overall, that part right there. But I mean, there are a couple of things that are being changed which also would be considered buffs, but that's a pretty big change right there. So again, I think it's a good change. DDs, I mean, especially with HE rockets, they absolutely just get dumpstered on by CV rockets. I mean, it's not uncommon to see a DD just lose half of its health from one salvo of CV rockets, and in my opinion, that's not really fair to them, especially since most tier 10 DDs cannot heal that damage back, and the only mistake they made was being the CV's choice of target for that moment. Alright, number 2. The speed at which Crosshairs is reducing is increased, beautiful English, and the penalty to reduction for maneuvering is lowered. So that's a buff. So the speed at which Crosshair is reducing is increased. God, so it should say the speed at which the crosshair is reduced is increased. So the crosshair will shrink faster, and the penalty for maneuvering is going to be lowered. So that means you'll actually be able to maneuver your planes without your crosshair going all over the place, which that's a buff, obviously. So I think that's fair to change those characteristics after adding in anywhere from like a 2 or 3 to even a 5 second. I don't think it's gonna be a 5 second delay. It's way too much. After adding this delay to the rocket, so I think that's a pretty fair call there. Considering even with all this increased maneuverability and the crosshair shrinking faster, you still have that delay to contend with. So I think that's okay. Markers showing the exact spot with each rocket where each rocket will hit are added. So that right there, when I read this the first time, I was like, ho, that's a bit too much compensation. But the second part, where it clarifies that not only is the attack aircraft going to get this marker, but so will the ships that are being attacked. So I guess it's okay if both parties can see it. I mean, with HE rockets, it really doesn't matter all that much. But with the AP rockets, like with Richtofen, it matters a whole lot. Because these AP rockets, if they hit in the right space, they can erase like 20k off of most cruisers if they citadel. So I think that's a bit much. But with both parties being able to see it, I guess it's better than only the CV players seeing, because that would be absolutely dumb. That's like seeing exactly where your shells were hit when firing from your main battery guns, which would be insanely broken if you could have that level of prediction. But I don't see them keeping that. First off, that HUD is going to lag the crap out of your computer, especially if you have like FDR or Audacious. So that's going to be a major drain on performance, probably, for most World of Warships players, because this game is played on like mid-tier to low-end PCs a lot, especially in like Russia. That's why some of the settings are kept a little bit lower. But good God. I mean, again, that's a huge advantage. That's a giant advantage. And I guess, with the target ship being able to see it, they will at least be able to maneuver to counter it. With AP rockets, all you really got to do is turn slightly, and they'll probably bounce. But that's a big change. If they do add that in, wow. That'll be, I think, pretty freaking crazy. And that's also going to allow, again, higher skilled CV players to probably just wreck ships now. If, like, you're playing MVR and you know exactly where those AP rockets are going to go, that's going to be pretty broken. And again, I'm thinking from, like, clan battles perspective. Again, going against some of the better CV players in this game. So, yeah, I don't think that one will make it through. I'll be surprised if it does. Although, given some of the recent stuff that the CVs have gotten, I guess I wouldn't be too surprised. Like all the new HUD. Like this is my first game in MVR after the CV changes in this update, where like you have an arrow always pointing to where your CV's at for some reason, not like you got to return to with your planes. you get like so many warnings now about your ship being attacked and your ship being spotted and the torpedoes and stuff, which you all got before. And I'm not sure if they just did it just as like a stylization change. It's like, okay, if you did that, then why didn't you change all the spotted notifications for all the other ships? It seems a little strange that CB is getting all this stuff now to let them know what's going on with their ship while they're out and about, when before you had to be paying attention to what was going on in order to not get wrecked. But now the game's just telling you. But again, that's another conversation for another day. But okay. So, in the little statement right here, I'm not really sure what they mean by this. The change of the shape of the attack aircraft Crosshair in Update 0.9.7 gave destroyers a possibility to stick to a common tactic to avoid rocket attacks. During the test, ships, especially destroyers, will have more time to react, and it will be easier for them to lower or completely evade damage from the rockets with the correct maneuver, and changes to Crosshair will make starting an attack run easier for aircraft carriers. I guess that's just meant to be like a little summary, a little sum up. I'm not sure why they had to mention the Crosshair change in 9.7. But overall, I think it's a good change. Except for the last bit, again, showing exactly where the rockets are going to go. And again, to clarify, it does sound like they mean where each individual rocket will go. I don't know what that HUD would look like, but I guess they're working on it. But anyway, it seems to be a good change overall. But again, the delay, it's good to allow DDs some time to react. Absolutely. How much of a delay, I don't know. Three times delay to the animation, and then a delay after hitting the left mouse button. They don't really clarify if, again, that 3 times attack animation is the delay, or if there's an additional delay on top of that. I think if there's an additional delay on top of that 3 times to the animation, I think that might be a little bit much. Depending, again, I'm not sure. But I guess we will see how this rolls out. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. CV players, what do you think of this change? Coming from someone that doesn't play CVs a lot, I have mixed feelings about it. But kind of leading to the it sounds okay side. But again, I don't play CVs that much, so guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 20,000 subs. We just passed 18,500, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. I will be live streaming right here tonight on the channel from 5 p.m. U.S. Central Time until 8 p.m. U.S. Central Time, so come out and join us for that. If you want to support the channel, the Patreon link is in the description down below. Any and all funds donated there will go to ship reviews and to get those free XP ships and those Research Bureau ships. So if you want to support the channel, that's the best place to do that. Anyway guys, hope you have a wonderful Friday, and I hope to catch you guys in the next one.